All right, guys. So the other week we talked about this, but I wanted to bring this up again for you. Fact Post says, Trump has signed an executive order to increase production of glyphosate, a weed killer thought to cause cancer. So Monsanto is the company, Roundup is the name of the product, but the actual product is glyphosate. There's been a lot of lawsuits over the fact that this causes cancer. A lot of people have sued. A lot of people have won money. In fact, RFK was involved in these suits and won his client's money because they got cancer from using Roundup, okay? So many countries have banned Roundup. So many. Because they're taking the evidence at face value, they're acting accordingly, and they're not as bought by corporations as politicians in this country, okay? But I also wanted to show you this. Ready? Major drug maker Bayer, which sells the controversial glyphosate-based weed killer Roundup, donated $1 million to Trump's inauguration last year. Bayer had never before donated to an inaugural committee. Oh, would you look at that? Bayer gave Trump $1 million, and then Trump turned around and decided to deregulate and use more glyphosate. Increase production, literally using the Defense Production Act to create more glyphosate. So you gave him $1 million, and shit, he's going to pay that back in spades, bro. He's going to pay that back. Best $1 million investment they ever made because Trump is the most corrupt president we've ever seen by far, and it's not even close. But this is just one thing that happened the other week. We also have other updates. You're not going to believe these. Ready? This is how over it all is, bro. This is how over it is. Ready? Quote, high levels of exposure to mercury can cause heart disease as well as severe damage to the brain and central nervous system. Among fetuses and babies, it can cause significant developmental delays, leading to lower IQ scores and impaired motor skills. EPA weakens limits on mercury from coal plants. So at the same time, he's greenlighting more glyphosate, letting them run wild with the cancer-causing glyphosate, right? Making the food supply more tainted for all of us. Also weakening mercury rules from coal plants. I really don't think people understand. They take for granted the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, the basic EPA regulations that make it so this country is livable. That like you would even want to live in this country. There was a time when it really wasn't livable. In fact, before the EPA and Clean Water Act, we had rivers in cities that would routinely catch on fire. They were so polluted. Why people want to go back to this is beyond me. Yes, rivers would literally catch on fire because of the immense pollution. If you don't have a strong EPA, if you're not actually regulating for clean air and clean water, you know what happens? It gets real dirty, real fucking fast. Everybody had that experience living in the 80s and the 90s in California where there was smog everywhere. It's smog everywhere. People couldn't see shit. Then as soon as the air got cleaned up, people would look up and go, oh shit, there's a mountain there. I didn't even know there was a mountain there. That's crazy. People were breathing in that toxic smog. By the way, that takes literally years off your life. If you're breathing polluted air day in and day out, you will die much younger. People don't think about this shit, but that's what happens. Okay? So, do you want to go back to a time when the fucking river set on fire? And of course, this is a quote tweet of the same thing, New York Times. Breaking news, the EPA is allowing coal-burning power plants to release more heavy metals like mercury, a powerful neurotoxin linked to brain damage. Here's your Maha agenda, by the way. The Maha agenda, make America healthy again. How is this making America healthy again? No, this is like, do whatever the billionaires want, is what the actual plan is. Whatever the billionaires want, we will deliver. And even things that they pretended, oh, we are making America healthy with this thing. They're already going back on it. Ready? How about this one? Have you seen this one yet? Maha, you've been scammed. Anger as Trump FDA retreats from plan to ban artificial colors in food. Experts say new labeling could deceive consumers as dangerous substances still allowed under new rules. In a further retreat from its pledge to ban artificial dyes from food, Donald Trump's Food and Drug Administration announced that it would loosen labeling requirements to allow companies to state no artificial colors, even though products may contain some dangerous substances such as titanium dioxide. They don't mean a fucking word of it, bro. I need you to understand that. They don't mean a word of it. These people are literally, their whole thing is to be beholden to industry. That's their whole thing. And RFK went in there and made a lot of noise, like things were going to change. We were going to make America healthy again. No, you know what he did? He did the opposite. As Trump is delivering for the billionaires and the corporations through corruption, everything they want, even though it's going to poison our water, even though it's going to poison our air, even though it's going to lead to pollution, even though it's going to make it so that we die younger because of all the particulate matter that we're breathing in. What is RFK doing? Limiting access to the COVID vaccine. He's putting vaccine skeptics on the advisory panel. He fired the CDC director after just a month because the CDC director said, I'm refusing to go along with your junk science, okay? He fired 1,260 people at the Epidemic Intelligence Service. So next time we have an epidemic, which could be pretty soon, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know their ass from their elbow. Okay? He ended our support for the global vaccine program. He helped kick millions of people off Medicaid, canceled the flu vaccine campaign. He's out there trying to link antidepressants to violence, even though that's total fucking bullshit. He laid off thousands of health and human services workers. He's releasing fake AI reports that have made up shit in it. Okay? He got caught doing that. Remember that? Remember that? Now there's mass resignations because people don't want to work under him because he doesn't fucking believe in science. This is what this guy's up to. And so there is no Make America Healthy Again movement. It's turn America over to the billionaires movement. It's the corporate states of America. That's what it is. And Trump is always for sale to the highest bidder. Always. And these corporations got a shitload of money. These billionaires got a shitload of money. And they are getting every single thing they wanted, more than they ever thought they would ever get from anybody ever again. He has made it so there isn't even a real regulatory mechanism anymore. There is no administrative state anymore. There is no EPA to do environmental protection. The whole point is they're handcuffing it so you can't do environmental protection. And meanwhile, the guy making all the fucking science decisions thinks nicotine is good for you. He drinks methylene blue, which makes his tongue blue and his brain blue, by the way. He's taking testosterone and human growth hormone at age fucking 60. He takes a peptide to make his skin darker. He eats roadkill. He eats roadkill and got a literal brain worm from eating roadkill, as well as bathing in a sewage-contaminated creek with his kids, which is another thing he did, and his grandkids, I think, too, by the way. So this is where we're at, bro. This is how over it is. There's no more state capacity to protect us from corporate overreach. And if there's one thing that defines the United States of America, it is corporate overreach and billionaire overreach. They get all the tax cuts, they get all the subsidies, they get all the money. Income and wealth inequality is literally worse than the Gilded Age, okay? And now there are no corporate cops anymore. The corporate cops have been murdered and buried deep underground. So now they're gonna pollute like a motherfucker. The water's not safe, the air's not safe, and people aren't waking up to this fact. They don't realize the hell that's been unleashed on this country. This is a joke of a country now. It's a joke of a country. It is a billionaire's playground, and they're acting like it. So anyway, congrats out there to all the Make America Great Again people and the Make America Healthy Again people. Hope you got exactly what you were looking for. All right, guys, that's the show, man. I love you guys very much. You guys know the drill. Everybody, please do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel. You could also click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. You could also support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link is below. And go subscribe to Corin's World, where we do live Kyle and Corin episodes. We'll be back on Monday with a new live Kyle and Corin, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, y'all. I love you, and I'll see you there. Peace. Hey, y'all. Do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.